Thank you for joining me live from the grooming table. I am Amy Lee, certified professional pet groomer since 2003, but it is absolutely my pleasure to share with you the secrets of the pet grooming industry so you can provide the same level of quality care for your pets at home that I provide for my client dogs here in my grooming salon as a professional. Thank you all for being here this awesome Monday. Mondays are the best. I want to remind you all that one of my goals right here on my YouTube channel is to bring a new voice to the pet grooming industry. And that is one that includes pet owners as valuable consumers and not just pet groomers. With so many people seeking valuable knowledge in order to groom their pets at home, their dogs all by themselves, having a place to learn proper dog grooming techniques and receive professional advice on tools, products, and where to get them is essential. And that's why I created this YouTube channel for you and your pets. Welcome to Go Groomer on YouTube. Tonight's topic is common mistakes made when grooming a dog. I love this topic. This is a great one. I could probably go on and on and on about all the mistakes that I've made over the years and learned from them, and now can share that with you so you don't have to make those mistakes. So I've tried to compile it and condense it down into one nice little live stream for you. This live stream is going to discuss the most common mistakes that you make when giving your dog a haircut. If you take your dog to a groomer, why you may be surprised when you pick your dog up with a different haircut than that he or she may be going home with that you were not expecting. There's reasons for that. Before we get into all that, let me remind you what the purpose of pet grooming, what the purpose pet grooming serves for you and your pet. What is the purpose of pet grooming? People like me, people like a lot of you in the chat, your pet groomers, your home groomers. What is the purpose of pet grooming? Pet grooming is not a service designed around your needs. It is a service that specifically is designed for your pet's individual needs. Each individual pet, when grooming, has their own special grooming needs that need to be met. Dogs' coats, their coat types, they vary. Obviously, not all dogs have the same coat type, so that can change the needs of that dog's groom. They also come in various skin types. They don't all have the same skin type, just like we don't. Some people have dry skin, some people have oily skin. You know, dogs vary too. There are a lot of variables like that. If the dog's needs are, their grooming needs are actually met properly, this will totally enhance the existence of the dog. It will help them live a healthier, happier life. Pet grooming is very important. Dogs also, they live in different climates. So some dogs live in climates where they were not originated from. So that is something to consider when we're grooming our dogs too. They may be a snow breed, an Alaskan breed, and this particular dog is living in Texas where it's hot. What do? Don't worry, you're not going to shave it. I'm going to tell you. We're going to talk about that. Whether you groom your dog yourself or you take your dog to a professional dog groomer, you need to come to terms with what are the grooming needs of my dog, your dog, or the dog you are specifically grooming at the moment. What are the grooming needs of that dog based on his skin and coat type, his lifestyle, and his personal makeup? They're all different. So here's an example. Let's say if my dog is a shedding double-coated dog breed such as a golden retriever. Okay, we all know what a golden retriever is. That is a double-coated breed and it sheds. His grooming needs are, well, I just lost my place. I swear to gosh, my computer is faster than I am these days. I have a lot to say, apparently. Holy moly. Okay. So his grooming needs are to maintain the undercoat and the top coat regularly in order for his coat to protect his skin. And that is the job that his coat is designed to do. His coat is designed to protect his skin. The coat filters dirt and grime and allergens from sitting against the skin, which is the largest organ in your dog's body. You guys know that. The skin is the largest organ in your dog's body. So considering your dog's toilet and playground are outside, their coat is a filter between their skin and everything that they are in contact with. So the coat is very, very, very important. It filters, just like any filter. Their coat is a filter, whether it's a double coat or not a double coat. Or this, in this example, we're talking about a golden retriever. So they have a double coat, and that is their filter. And as we all know, filters need to be cleaned and changed often, or they become clogged, or they lose their purpose of filtering things out, right? So that is the same for your dog's coat. It can only filter for so long until it may become clogged and it may lose its purpose, which is to protect your dog's skin. So what happens then? Well, your dog's skin can become itchy and irritated, which can lead to a skin infection, obviously. Regular brushing and bathing is essential to the health of your dog's skin and coat. Essential. No matter what you've ever heard in the past or present, bathing and brushing is a very big necessity for your dog's health, guys. So that's only the tip of the iceberg when we're talking about mistakes that can be made when you're grooming. So if your dog breed is one that requires his hair to be trimmed, then let me show you a picture here. So here we have a long-haired Maltese. Okay, let's just discuss this for a second. So if your dog breed is the type of dog that does require his hair to be trimmed, you still can grow it into a full coat like this here Maltese that we're looking at. A dog like a Maltese or a Yorkie and so on, dogs like that, yes, you can have them grow in full coat. But only if you're going to brush the coat daily and bathe weekly. That is a big commitment, but that's what has to happen. And as a professional dog groomer, I love to see a dog like this in full coat. But what I don't like to see is a dog in full coat that is wearing a dirty, unkept coat for weeks without being attended to properly. So yes, you can have your Maltese or your Yorkie in a coat like this, or that particular breed and coat type, we can also trim it. So fortunately, grooming your dog or taking them to a groomer is also a solution for this type of a breed. Now let's talk about some of the mistakes made when grooming a dog. All right, so let's get this off of there. Boom, boom. All right, got a lot of stuff here. So one of the biggest mistakes that you can make grooming a dog is to not use professional tools, products, and equipment on your dogs to groom them. That is what sets you up for success, along with the knowledge to know how to groom the dog safely and properly. But if you don't have those tools, products, and equipment, you're not really going to be able to do a good job. And what I mean by that is your dog clippers, your professional dog clippers, you have to have a good professional clipper if you are going to give your dog a haircut. You need to use good shears if you're going to give your dog a haircut, or it's just not going to cut through the coat. You need to use good brushes. You need to use a comb. A grooming table is essential if you are going to groom your dog at home, along with a grooming arm and a proper grooming harness for your dog while they're on the table, because then you're going to get good behavior. So these things are essential to having a successful grooming session. First of all, is having the right tools. Another thing that can cause you, that is a mistake often made when grooming dogs, is to improperly use those tools and products and equipment to groom the dog. You're not going to get the results that you're looking for. So in other words, if you don't know how to properly use them, you're definitely setting yourself up for failure. Meaning, how much pressure do I put on my clipper as I'm clipping? You know, a lot of people don't understand that. What am I trying to do? Do I just kind of graze the clipper across my dog's coat? No, you actually want to move the dog's skin in front of the clipper. So you want to have enough pressure on your clipper blade. This one doesn't have a blade on it. All right, let me get a blade. Let's be real here. You got to have enough pressure. I'm going to cut my arm hair off. You got to have enough pressure on your blade to roll the skin in front of the coat, or it's just going to glide over top of the coat. So that is one example of not using a tool or piece of equipment properly. Not having your dog properly harnessed on a grooming table is not going to work out well, because if they're not positioned, you know, upright in their grooming harness and with the grooming arm attached to that adjusted right, and if they have too much slack, then they're going to spin around on the table for you. They're possibly going to slip off the table. They're going to put their face in your business where you're clipping or using scissors. You can't have that. It's very important that they're properly positioned on the table. So that is a common mistake, is the improper use of tools, products, and equipment when it comes to grooming your dog and failing. Another thing that really, really can cause a lot of failure in grooming your dogs is rushing through the bathing and pre-brushing step of the grooming session. I can't say this enough, and for those of you who have taken my course, which it's still available, I get emails from you guys all the time, can I still take your course? Absolutely, it is there. In fact, it's linked in the description below if you're interested in going and checking it out. It's a wonderful beginner basic dog grooming course. But in that course, for those of you that have taken my course, you had really learned a lot in that little mini course about bathing and pre-brushing, at how important that is. If you don't take your time and brush and clean that dog and wash and brush and clean the dog before clipping, you will not have a successful grooming session. You're going to think your clipper's broke. It's not going through my dog's coat. What's going on? Your clipper's not broke. Your blade is not dull. It could be, but it's probably not. It's because the coat isn't properly prepared for clipping. And for those of you that have bathers, that are professional groomers, that have bathers, it's really important that you teach them how to really get that dog clean and rid the coat of all the dead hair, whether that's through brushing, combing, or maybe you might even use de-shedding rakes depending on the coat type. But getting that coat prepared for clipping is what is going to give you a successful and a beautiful groom. You're going to be very happy with your results, even if you're a beginner. So rushing through the bathing and pre-brushing step of a groom is a very big mistake that a lot of people make. You should not rush that, okay? If you groom your dog yourself and you're like, well, that takes a lot of time, and then I got to give the dog a haircut, and I'm a newer groomer, so I'm slow, then hey, break it up. Break it up into two sessions. If you are a professional groomer and you're just starting out and you're like, I find myself speeding through the bathing and pre-brushing process because it takes me so long to trim the dog, then ask for the dog longer. Give the dog their pre-brush, their bath, and their blow dry. Give them a break and schedule another dog while that dog is taking a half an hour break before getting him back up on the table. You can wash, pre-brush, and dry another dog, then give that dog a break and take the dog that had the break back up on the table and give him his haircut. There are ways to work out your schedule, guys, whether you're a professional or grooming at home. But there are certain things that you should never skip if you want to have success with grooming your dogs. So, and that's whether you're professional or not. Another example of a mistake that is often made when grooming dogs is to not follow the same steps to the groom. To groom any dog, to not follow those same steps every time you groom a dog. Repetition will eliminate the possibility of forgetting a step. That's important, guys. And that's the same for any job that you're learning in life. When you repetitiously follow the same procedures and methods, it becomes second nature, and you don't have to think about it anymore, and you're not going to forget a step. You're going to know right where you are in that grooming process and not have to double think everything and second guess. Wait, where was I? Okay, I just cleaned the ears. Now what do I do? Oh, I brush the dog again. I brush the dog. Okay, once you perform the same steps every time in the same row, then you will learn how to groom a dog without second guessing everything all the time. Repetition will eliminate that for you, and it will also build your speed. So following the same steps every time that you groom a dog every time will speed up your grooming. That's how you become faster, because you're starting to not have to think about things. It's just becoming automatic. So here's where you guys are in luck again, because I love you so much. I've linked a free download that I created for you. It's called My 11 Steps to Groom Any Dog, and it's in the description of this video for you to follow when grooming any dog. And you can view it, or you can print it out, and you can use it as a guide during your grooming sessions. But I really strongly recommend that you guys take advantage of downloading that free 11 Steps to Grooming Any Dog that's in the description of this video. It's for you. So, and it will help you. And I've had that for now, about 1.5 years. I've been sharing that I created it for you guys. And I get so much good feedback from you guys and emails and comments saying how it does help keep you on track. Even if you're a beginner pet groomer and you're just starting out. You know, I was you too. I've been there, and I knew the importance of after I started following specific steps every time of the groom, I saw my grooming game just completely tighten up. And it got better and better and better every time. So it's a good thing, guys, to follow those steps. If you're grooming a dog that doesn't get a haircut, then you skip that step and go to the next one. But sticking with the same procedures as you groom a dog is very, very important. Here's another mistake. Very common mistake that people make. They wait too long to brush or groom their dog again from the last time that they groomed it. So I recommend keeping your dog on a 4 to 6 week schedule in order to prevent your dog from his coat becoming matted or his skin from collecting excessive dirt and grime, which then could lead to irritation or skin infection, and as often this stuff is just misdiagnosed as skin allergies, and it's not. It's just a coat that's been let go too long. So like I said, as my pets that I groom in here, I always rebook them every 4 to 6 weeks within that window, and that seems to keep them in decent enough shape. Honestly, I think every dog should be bathed about every 2 weeks, unless they are a seriously short-haired dog. They will not need that. You know, like a Boston Terrier. They definitely don't need to be bathed every 2 weeks unless they are outside and they're in a lot of dirt and grime. Then yeah, they do. You know, these things are going to become a problem on their skin. Yeah, the dogs with the short coats and the dogs with the long coats, the coat is designed to protect the skin no matter what the breed is or what the coat type is. That is the purpose of the coat. So now we're going to dig a little deeper. All right, so another mistake that often is made when it comes to grooming your dog or dogs: leaving too much coat when you're giving your dog a haircut. So let's say you have a Shih Tzu, and you know you like him long. It's beautiful when he's long, and you do your best to keep up with it, and you do a pretty good job. But that Shih Tzu loves to go outside and play and loves to run in the dirt, and maybe you go for hikes with your dog every day. And that's a lot of coat to maintain, and it's a lot of coat to collect things when your dog is out having fun. So often leaving too much coat when giving your dog a haircut is a mistake sometimes, because a dog in longer coat requires daily brushing and weekly bathing. And you must consider this when choosing the appropriate trim for your dog. You'll have to evaluate your dog's activities. You have to evaluate the lifestyle of your dog and determine how much coat your dog should wear, because that is what they're doing. They're wearing it. So there again, let's take a look at this beautiful, beautiful long-haired Maltese. And I love this. Absolutely. But let's say that you like to go for hikes or you like to allow your dog to swim regularly. Can you imagine how hard that is going to be to maintain with the coat this long, or even half this long? So if so, you have to realize these factors, that they're going to require close care. If you keep your dog in a longer coat, if it's a doodle and longer coat, everybody loves their doodles and longer coat. I get it. But you have to realize that this is going to require close care for your dog's skin and coat. Otherwise, your dog is more than likely going to become matted, and the skin is going to become compromised. And in that case, a shorter, more manageable trim for your dog would be the better choice. Like, let's say this for a Maltese. You know, I mean, you have to look at the needs of the dog. And if you are a groomer, if you're a professional groomer, guys, this is the kind of conversations that you need to have with your pet clients. You need to say, well, you know, you tell me that you walk on the walking trail every day with Snowflake, and you know, every now and then you guys take the little trail up through the woods or whatever. Well, you know, having a dog with a lot of coat is going to cause a lot of things to stick in that coat. Dirt, sticks, burrs, you name it. But it will. So when coming up with the idea of what is the best trim for my particular dog breed, you have to look at lifestyle. You have to look at what your dog's doing. Does he swim in the pool with you every day? You know, is that maybe something that is not manageable with a coat that's 4 inches or more? You know, you have to realize that. So that is a mistake a lot of people make. They leave the coat too long when they decide to trim the dog. They don't trim it enough. And I don't mean shave it down. I just mean they don't trim enough off that it's not manageable. And with that said, don't forget that you can ruin a double coat. So when I talk about trimming dogs, I'm only talking about dogs that have a long coat, that is the coat type that is hair. It grows, it needs trimmed. It grows and grows and grows until it won't grow anymore, okay? That is the breed of dog that will get a haircut. Are double-coated breeds? Absolutely not. This is another mistake people make. They trim shedding breeds or double-coated breeds. It's going to ruin the coat if you clip it. The coat type has a huge purpose that should never be clipped off. The double coat it regulates the body temperature for the dog in warm and cool weather, okay? So let me just show you again this double-coated dog. Let's get the full picture, okay? Hold on. There we go. Beautiful Shelties. Beautiful double coat. Okay, they have an undercoat and a top coat. That is the type of dog that this is. Where was I here in my thinking? Okay, so the double coat serves a very, very large purpose. And if it's clipped off, it cannot do its job. The double coat regulates the body temperature of the dog in warm and cool temperatures. So if it's hot, the double coat keeps your dog cool, believe it or not. If it's cool, the double coat will keep your dog warm as well. So a few examples of double coated dogs that should never be clipped, guys, are Pomeranians, Huskies, Bernese Mountain Dog, Newfoundland dogs, German Shepherds, Labrador Retrievers, Golden Retrievers, Border Collies, Shetland Sheepdogs, our rough-coated Collies, St. Bernards. Guys, we could do this all day, couldn't we? Do you get where I'm going with it? So our double-coated dogs typically are identified with dogs that have a lot of flagging on the backs of their legs. Their hair typically will grow to a length and then it doesn't grow anymore. And usually our double-coated dogs also shed. So that is an idea of what is a double-coated dog. So I want to show you this too. Hold on a second, guys. Also, don't ever shave your dog, a shedding breed. If you have a German Shepherd or a Pug or a Lab or a Husky, they cannot be shaved either. That coat can't be shaved. It will never grow back properly, and it will actually cause your dog to be more susceptible to have skin problems because you've removed that coat that did a very specific job for your dog's skin. So that is often something that people don't understand. And I think a lot of vets don't share that as often as they should when, you know, they take their dogs in for checkups and their dog is shaved, you know, and it's a German Shepherd, you know. Look at this. You know, it looks tidy, it looks beautiful for now. And you think, wow, he's cooler, he's going to feel much better. Yeah, for a while, but listen, what happens when we shave those beautiful double coats? This is what the guy's supposed to look like, okay? When we shave those beautiful double coats, we interfered with the growth pattern of the undercoat and the top coat, and we're interfering with the ratio of undercoat to top coat when we shave it. It will not grow back the same, so the coat will never be able to do the job it's supposed to do if we shave it. Now, you know we talk about this all the time, so that's no new news for you guys, I know. But we do not shave our shedding breeds because they shed. And we do not shave our double-coated breeds because you think they're hot. When a dog pants, that is how they're regulating their body temperature. If they didn't pant, they wouldn't be able to regulate their body temperature. So they're panting to get their temperature where it needs to be. Once that happens, the coat regulates that temperature and keeps it there. If we remove that coat, your dog can't keep it regulated. They can't regulate the body temperature, which could be very crucial. It could be very dangerous in a heat situation too, or cold. So don't ever forget that, guys. It's very important that we don't shave our shedding breeds or our double-coated breeds. So now let's see what kind of questions you guys might be having about this hot topic tonight, huh? Look at all of you guys, all chitty-chatty. Wow, I love this. Oh, yes, I do. All right, let's see. We got Suzanne in here, too. That is awesome. Suzanne's been so busy grooming on her channel. I've been watching as much as I can. There she is. She's Groomer's Harness. Suzanne, I'm going to be seeing you in a week. Oh, yeah, less than a week on Sunday. Suzanne and I are going to be grooming together in Tampa, Florida in her salon. We're going to groom a Bedlington Terrier, and we're going to do a mixed breed in a Bedlington Terrier trim. I can't wait. I've never groomed a Bedlington Terrier, so I will be learning something. Do you guys hear that bulldog? Excuse me, I have to let him in. He's not even supposed to be down here. He's crying like a baby. You're not supposed to be down here. I missed you too. Okay, come on over here. Come here. Come on. Just go lay down. Oh, you were so upset. Hold on, guys. Now the other big one. Where's my family? Why can't they watch the dogs? Come on, Gus. Now they all got to be in here. The only reason I keep them out of here when I'm down here is because my husband comes home during my live stream, and if they're in here, they start barking like crazy. Right, little Gus? All right, so come here, buddy. Go lay down. All right. Good to see you, boys. Yeah, go lay down. Let's see if anybody has any questions. Yes, I am going to Florida. I leave Thursday. I'm going to be at the Fun in the Sun show, which is in Orlando, and I can't wait. It's going to be fantastic. And I am then renting a car and going to Tampa to see Suzanne and groom with her on Sunday. And that is going to be the highlight of my whole trip. I can't wait. And we'll be filming and probably doing some live streaming, guys, so don't worry. We're definitely taking you with us on this journey. It's going to be awesome. So I'm just looking for your questions right now, guys, because we like to get those questions answered. You know that. Karen said, love your videos, Amy. What causes excessive pet dander? My son's husky is is quite a bit, has quite a bit. That's a great question, Karen. And especially on a double-coated breed, yes, a Husky has a very thick coat. A lot of the time, you are going to see, let me get my screen up right. A lot of the time, you're going to see excessive flaky skin and dander and buildup is if they're not brushed and washed often enough. Believe it or not, it's very important. And when you wash a large, thick-coated dog like a Husky, you have to be sure that you have a way to adequately rinse the dog. It's very important to rinse everything out. Any product left in that double coat can start getting irritated right away because it'll just start building up against the skin and causing irritation. So routine brushing on a Husky is very important. Brushing stimulates blood flow to your dog's skin and coat. So even a dog like a Husky, you look at it and you say, oh, he's not matted, I don't really need to brush him. Well, no, he's not matted, but he needs brushed. He needs that stimulation on his skin to rejuvenate healthy blood flow, which creates healthy skin and coat. So that is a common problem that a lot of people do with double-coated breeds. They don't brush them enough with a slicker brush, something that's going to get in there and really stimulate the skin and the coat and remove the dead coat out. That's cleaning the filter like I talked earlier. The double coat, the undercoat is like the filter that harbors all that dirt and keeps it off the skin. But that filter can collect so much dirt and build up and dander and you name it, that it can then stop serving its purpose and it will irritate the skin. So more brushing, more bathing on that dog and you probably will see a big improvement, Karen. Trust me. That's the solution. Let me see here, guys. I'm just scrolling. Here's another one from Ashley. Happy Groomers Appreciation Day. Oh, I didn't even know that. Well, and we're going to salute all our groomers out there, and that includes all you home groomers that groom your dogs yourself. You're all groomers. We're all groomers. We're going to get a nice big salute. Happy Groomers Day, everybody. Happy Groomers Day, Groomers Appreciation Day. Let's appreciate everybody every day, but today especially. Thanks, Ashley. I had no idea. That's pretty cool. All right. So moving on to some questions. Polly says, do you have the kit that Groomer's Choice was going to make up for you? Do I have it? No. Do I have most all those tools? Yes. The kit that Groomer's Choice did put together on their website for anybody who is taking the class or is a beginner groomer is your beginner groomer kit. So it's a affordable but effective grooming kit. It's not all the things you don't need, it's only what you do need. And you can build upon your grooming kit as you become a better groomer and have the money to add more things that are then more of a luxury. But so it is your essential grooming kit. The clipper that's in that kit is the KM2. I use the KM10. You can use a KM10 as a beginner, and it's no problem. But for cost purposes and effectiveness, we decided to go with the KM2. It's a bit cheaper, but it is a good clipper. It will do the job. So that's why you'll find that one in there. Karen says, so when do you pre-clip? Good question. I pre-clip often when I have a dog that is going to get a haircut. And it has been too long since he was here the last time. So I like that 4 to 6 week window to keep seeing my clients as, we're checking out. I'm scheduling them again for 4 or 6 weeks. I don't really have a problem with that. I typically never have to pre-clip if that's the case. We go straight to the brushing and then to the tub. But I do have to pre-clip if I haven't seen the dog in 10 weeks and 12 weeks. Then I'll find I have to pre-clip, and I'll tell you the reason why we pre-clip is because that is a lot more coat that we're going to have to brush, wash, dry, fluff, and brush again. So if we can take half of that off, we're knocking out a lot of the time that the dog is going to have to endure the grooming process. So that's when pre-clipping is necessary. So hopefully, Karen, that makes sense. And this is all just what I do, guys. There's thousands of groomers that may tell you something different, but this is what I do. I'm giving you all my experiences and over the years and why I decide to do things the way that I do. Okay, Deborah says, what kind of coat does a Papillon have? Papillon has a double coat, you know, much like a Sheltie, just on a smaller scale. So you certainly would not clip a Papillon. That is a double-coated breed. They are beautiful dogs and one of my favorites. They have a great personality. Janelle says, how are you doing, Janelle? She says, you know that rake that you used on the Retriever? I think I need one for Ringo. Do you get it at Groomer's Choice? I think I know the one you're talking about. Sorry, buddy. I have a couple I'm going to show you that I would recommend. Maybe I'll make that 3. These are the type of rakes that I would recommend for your double-coated dog, for Ringo, who is a German Shepherd. This is the V rake. And all of these rakes are not sharp, so they will not cut through the coat. I don't like slicing through the coat. I don't like that. So this is the V rake. I love this. This is great for your Pomeranians too, or your Papillon. In the tub when they're wet and have conditioner on, you'll be able to slide out a lot of that undercoat real nice and gentle with any of these tools, all of which can be purchased at Groomer's Choice. This is called the V-rake. This is called I think they call this an undercoat rake, but it is not sharp, Janelle. You see that? It's not sharp. I love it. I love it so much. These tools can be used in the tub too, which is very handy when you're de-shedding your dog and you've washed them and now they have the conditioner on. You can slide that undercoat out very easily with the conditioner on. This is another one. This is the Aranco Rake Superior, the number 710. Rake Superior makes a couple rakes. This is the 710. This is great for our double-coated breeds. Janelle, do you see that? And again, not sharp. Nothing sharp about these tools. That's my favorite de-shedding tools are definitely safe tools. It's nice to have those aids when we're de-shedding our double-coated dogs or our heavy shedding dogs. But we don't want to use something that slices through the coat because it's actually going to encourage more undercoat growth, which is almost the same thing as shaving your dog. You're interrupting the undercoat ratio to the top coat. So those are the ones, Janelle. These are my favorite de-shedding tools of all, along with my comb and brush. Those are de-shedding tools too, guys. Don't forget that. Great question. Amy Rawls says, is it okay to do potty shave on a double-coated dog? Yes. Yes, it is absolutely okay to do a potty shave on a double-coated dog with a number 10 blade only because that's safe. It won't irritate the skin and it won't catch skin to cut it. But that area is fine because that area is not protecting the skin. You know, it's absolutely okay to do sanitary trimming on double coats. And I'm glad you asked that because I think a lot of people hear me say, don't ever clip a double coat or a shedding dog, and they think, well, what about in that area? You know, why would that? No, that is okay. That would not be a problem with a 10 blade. All right, so let's see if we have more questions here. Deborah says, Deborah, where'd you go? Hold on, I saw you. Okay. Deborah says, I groom a mixed breed with short hair. Okay, but it sheds a lot. So should I be shaving or just should I be de-shedding? If it's a short-haired dog that its hair only grows so far, then it is not a dog that would require shaving. You may find that the owners ask you to do that, but I wouldn't because the dog really needs some coat for protection. And even though it's a shedding breed, you know, by using our de-shedding tools and our conditioning methods in the tub to remove that shedding dead hair out, they're going to be amazed when they pick the dog up. They didn't expect the coat to be like that. So if you can talk them out of shaving the dog and talk them into letting you work the coat with coat handling techniques. And then when they come and pick the dog up and they see the condition that you turned this coat into, they're going to be amazed because it's not what they thought was possible. They think, oh, he's a shedding breed. He's always going to be a mess. It's always going to be shedded, clumpy, and all over me. It's not. If you maintain a shedding breed every 4 weeks, they're not going to have hair all over you in your house. It's just a matter of getting them on that tight grooming schedule. It's very important. But don't shave them. All right, so let's see if we have more questions. CMM says, if you were going to pre-clip a dog that's long-haired, would you use a guard comb for the first, then the proper blade for the second time? Okay, let's say sometimes I do that. Sometimes I get like poodles, and I'll have people that bring me poodles, and they'll keep changing the appointment, and it'll be like 3 months till I get the mini poodle in to get it groomed, you know, because they kept changing the appointment. Well, normally we like a little more coat on that poodle, but they have not touched it or brushed it in 3 months. So you can imagine how tightly curled and tight, dead coat going on stuff in there because it hasn't been brushed out. Some people do not brush their dogs at all. And a lot of my poodle people don't brush them at all, which is amazing. But so in that case, I couldn't begin to even get a guard comb through that poodle. Let's say a poodle hasn't been brushed or trimmed in 3 months. I couldn't. So say I'm going to go ahead and say, well, the best I can do is a 5-blade all over body and legs. Okay, and then we'll leave a nice pretty poodle face, shaved feet, and a poodle tail. But we're going to do a number 5 all over. That's what we're going to do. Then I'll pre-clip with that number 5. Pre-clip with the number 5, wash the dog, brush the dog, bathe it, get it all beautiful, and then go back over it with that 5-blade for the finish. Janelle, you just renewed your membership. Thank you, Amy, for explaining these tools and details. You are the best. Aw, have the time of your life in Florida. I will. You'll see. I'll be shouting out, and I'm not going to be hiding from you guys when I'm in Florida. You'll see me. So, yes, I hope that answers your question about pre-clipping with a guard comb or a blade. If I'm going to do a 5 on that dog, I'm going to do the 5 pre-clip as well. It's definitely, I do have to go back over it, though, when the dog is clean, brushed out, fluffed out, because the coat will still be uneven, just because it doesn't trim nice when it's dirty, you know? That dog wants out now. That's why I don't like him down here. They want in, they want out. As soon as somebody comes home, then they want up. Patty says, for questions, put a line in. Thank you, Patty. That's right. That's the only way I could really see your questions, guys, okay? Amy, again, has a question saying, I've been trying to find a small size slicker brush with the long tines for my toy poodles. I know Chris Christensen has them, but they've been sold out. Give me a second. Yes. All right. You're going to go. Off you go. Go, go, go. Can somebody call the dogs? Dogs are wanting up. Am I the only one in this house that knows what's going on? Okay. So Chris Christensen makes a really nice slicker brush, the coral brush, okay? And in one of our members' Zoom sessions, one of my members brought up the fact that they also make one that's about half the size. They make it, and if you can't find it there, Olga, I forget her last name, but she has her own line of some pet tools. She has one that looks just like it. It's pink and everything. It's half the size. And it's a really nice brush. So I learned that in my members group. People were saying that they have it, they use it. I think that can be purchased probably on Love Groomer's site, maybe. I'm not sure if Groomer's Choice has that particular one. Ew, what's on my keyboard? Okay, so another one is the Les Push brushes, the Activate brushes. They definitely are that nice size, nice shape. I prefer to use these little brushes a lot, especially for my smaller dogs, but I use them on bigger dogs too. That is Le Pouche and also Activate. Those brushes are really, really nice. So I think you would like those. The Starship Crochet, anyway, I have a Yorkie that was traumatized from clipping. Nail clipping, I think is saying. Okay. I've been trying to desensitize her. I got her back legs okay, but she won't let me go for the front. Even tried a Kong. Any advice? Keep working with her on the grooming table, up on the grooming table. So she associates the grooming table strictly with either brushing or nail trimming or whatever you need to do. And just practice handling her up there. You know, maybe not always trimming those nails. Get her up there as much as you can, as much time as you have. You know, small sessions, like 5 minutes and then off she goes. But just associating the grooming table with a place of trust and a place where she's going to be handled by you. And then the more she can associate that grooming table with as being a good place, the more you're probably going to see slowly and slowly you're going to get somewhere with her. That's my best advice, and it has worked for me many times in the past with pet clients. And I'm getting there with my bulldog too. He still has some issues with his nails being trimmed, but we've come a long way, that's for sure. Karen says, one more question. Oh, where'd you go, Karen? That popped away. Hold on, I'll find you. There you are. Okay, one more question. Whether it's my son's husky or my doodle, his hair is more like a golden. Do you still aggressively scrub them with your loofah, or would that create matting? You're not really aggressively scrubbing. You're just, the thing with the loofah is it pushes your sud powers, your foam boosters to new levels. So you're gonna get more foam, more froth when you use a loofah. And that's kind of what you're doing. You're not trying to circle and make all these little, you know, you're just getting in there and scrubbing, you know, and you can use your fingers too, but your loofah is just going to kind of push that shampoo to a new level, and that's what's going to clean your dog. So yes, you can use the loofah. You don't want to take small circles, and you know, I've never tangled a dog by using a loofah on them. I find it to be very beneficial. And especially because it produces so much suds. That's a huge benefit too. So yeah, I would say, Karen, you'd be just fine whether it's a doodle or a golden retriever or anything, or husky. You're trying to get that the suds and the foam into the skin. It needs to clean from the skin out. And that's going to help with your son's husky that may be having some dry skin like we talked about earlier. Getting it good and clean. And let's see here. Marlo says, comment in agreement about activity and length of dog's hair. You know I love long hair on Teddy Bear. Yes, you can have long hair. I mean, Teddy's hair, when we trimmed it, wasn't terrible long, but we kind of tidied him up a bit. Shorter in the body, longer in the legs, nice full head. You know, you can adjust your groom so that it's manageable for you to brush out and it's manageable for the dog to wear, especially when they're active and having fun outside. That's where they're going to get the dirtiest and get into, you know, have a wet coat and a dry coat because they ran out in the wet morning grass or whatever. But the more coat, the more you have to brush all the time to keep it in good shape. And brush thoroughly, doing the line brush, you know. Line brushing, where you hold the hair up and pull it out with the brush. Until then you can get a comb through that area and then you move on. So let's just see here. Oh, is my husband being funny? What did he say? We don't want the dogs up here. Well, too bad. We don't want them down here barking when we're live streaming. We're live streaming down here. This is serious stuff. We don't need no barking dogs. All right. Kiki says, what do you do if you're hand stripping dog and it's tolerable for the whole strip apart from the head and the chest? As I was told, you cannot use scissors at all on a hand strip. Yeah, if you are hand stripping your dog regularly, because that's a commitment. You can't just hand strip every now and then. I don't know what breed it is, Kiki, but if you're hand stripping, that is a whole process of when sometimes you're taking more, almost to the point you're pulling it all out at times. There's a process to that is not a pet trim. Hand stripping is not a pet trim. And if your dog minds having his ears and his head done, I would say don't forget about the handy tools that help us when we're hand stripping, even those little rubber finger grippies, so that won't slip out of your hand. Do I have some in here? I do. I usually keep them here. Sometimes I need them. These things, you can get them at office supply stores, but if you're hand stripping dogs, these come in handy because you can really get a grip on the hair and it won't slide out from your fingers. So maybe think about switching up your tools. There's different stripping knives. The Mars, this is a Mars. They have all different ones, but this is a stripping knife. Try different ones to see what the dog is tolerable to. It's really important, especially for a hand strip, because you still want to be sure you're not breaking the coat. You may be using a tool that's a little too harsh for those areas and you're going to break the coat anyway, and that's not what you want to do. So when you hand strip a dog, Kiki, you got to do a lot of homework and you've got to have tools that get the job done and that are easy for you to work with too. So hopefully that helps. Proly says, how can I control Mashi or I guess that's like a Maltese and a Shih Tzu, probably, a Malshi, on a 2-loop grooming table, spins and won't stay still? Great question. Well, you've seen me demonstrate in videos before about how to properly harness your dog on the grooming table. One of the videos you're going to need to go back and watch probably is items that keep your dog from falling off the grooming table, I think it was called, or items that keep your dog safe on the grooming table. In that video, you're going to see me use what I call a grooming hitch. And that's going to show you how you keep your dog from spinning around the table. It's very important that they don't, because you can't work with them like that. Another thing you can do is just always keep your other hand under their abdomen. So as they're trying to spin, you kind of got them there, and they get tired of fussing with you, and they just give up usually. So those two things would be very helpful. And you just have to be consistent with them too, and what you're gonna allow, and don't get upset or mad. Don't, just be very firm about what your expectations are when you're grooming. Okay, Diane says, I have a Lhasa Poo, so a poodle Lhasa. When clipping with a comb, do I go tail to head or head to tail? Oh, the direction. Good question. For a Lhasa Poo, you've got a thick-coated dog, so that's thick. I find often that if you go in reverse from tail to head in that direction, we call that in the reverse direction, you probably will get a smoother clip. So, hey, King of Aliens, put Go Groomer Hubby in a timeout. He's being really sassy. You know, King of Aliens has a wrench, hubby. King of Aliens can put you in timeout. So I say go from tail to head, Diane. I think you'll have a nice smooth clip that way. Judy says, what was the name of the last matting tool that you showed us? It began with an A. Okay, this one. Aranco. It's called Rake Superior. It's the number 710. Do you see that? They do have different numbers. It's number 710. This is a great rake. And you can get it on Groomer's Choice. Janelle, are you going crazy? Thanks for being you. Thanks for being you, Janelle. And thanks for always being here with us. And thanks for bringing the wrench. You have the power. And you're so getting saluted, Janelle. Thank you for the super chat. I appreciate it. You know we're better together. And all our tools. I love grooming tools. Yes, thank you, Janelle. You're crazy. You're crazy. Say hi to Ringo and all the babies. Hi, Ringo. Mommy's going to get a new tool for you, Ringo. You're going to love it. All right. Thank you so much, Janelle. You're too much. Yeah, guys, it's my pleasure. You don't have to thank me for answering your questions. I love to do it. Jenny says, how often do huskies need to be bathed? Huskies need, okay. I almost sneezed. Oh my God. Just thinking about huskies, I started sneezing. Huskies, if I owned my own husky, I would prefer to bathe my husky probably every 4 weeks. And a nice condition in the tub to help remove the dead coat with a nice gentle rake like this would be great for a husky too. I would do every 4 weeks. That's what I would do, and it would keep that coat beautiful. It would keep it from collecting too much dander and buildup, and it would also help with the shedding. Obviously, you wouldn't have a huge shedding problem if you groomed your husky every 4 weeks. Mary Jane says, how often our Siberian Husky gets bathed? My granddaughter has told me every 6 months. Well, that just goes right along with what Jenny said. I would prefer every 4 weeks, Mary Jane. 4 to 6 weeks would be perfect. I mean, the dog's coat and skin would be perfect all the time if you did a 4 to 6 week groom, honestly. Hi from Ireland, Marie. Good to see you. I gotta tell you, de-shed dogs are, as much as I love trimming and doing the scissor finish work, I love doing a good de-shed. It's so satisfying when you approach that coat properly and you rejuvenate that thick, dirty coat into an airy, fluffy cloud. Hi, Nor. Nor made it from Egypt. Good to see you. I absolutely love doing a good de-shed. And I'm sure my groomer friends in here know what I'm talking about. It's very satisfying. Although your hair gets in your mouth and gets everywhere, but that's just part of it, okay. Rebecca says, my question was missed. Do you have suggestions for trimming a hairy upper lip on a small dog? Which tools, shears or clippers? Oh, never scissors, not especially for a beginner. Your best bet's a 10 blade. So you just want to do right under the nose so the hair stops going in the mouth. I would imagine that's probably why, Rebecca. So just hold the dog's nose closed in their mouth and just give right up the lip. That's it. And you're done. Right here, right in the front. And that should take care of that. Hi, Angela Lackman. Haven't seen you in a while. Yes, we're all doing good. The Gusses are doing good. Everybody's doing good. Thank you. I hope everything's going well with your new salon too, Nor. You're working on that. It's always good to see you too. I mean, oh, thank you, Nor. You guys are the best. I am very excited. Wow. Today's Monday. Tuesday, Wednesday, I got to get ready. Thursday, I work, and then I leave right after work and go to Florida. So that's the plan. Thursday, my flight leaves from Harrisburg. I think Harrisburg. Yeah. I don't know, sometime in the evening. So I have to work. I think I'm working till like 4:30. And I'm planning to have all my stuff packed up Wednesday so that I can just eat, say goodbye to the family and the dogs, and catch my flight. And I'll be in Orlando pretty late. But anyway, rock and rolla. There is a really fun competition that I'm anxious to attend on Friday, which is the first day that I'm there. Well, I get in there late Thursday, but Friday evening at the hotel where the show is, the Fun in the Sun show, there is a grooming career start competition. I think they call it like career start. I did a career start in my first year of grooming. It was sponsored by Oster, and I actually took 3rd place with a Bichon. You had to be a first-year groomer, and it was so exciting. I loved it. And that kind of got me started with competing. But they are doing a career start competition Friday. It's like 7 in the evening till it goes to like 9:30 at night. So I am going to be there. I am so excited to go and watch the beginners and sit and just cheer them on quietly, because we have to be quiet. We have to use our indoor voice. And then hopefully meet a lot of people and talk with them, and, you know, just hear how their journey's going, where they groom from, how they got started, what do they struggle with, you know, those kind of things. So I really am looking forward to talking to and meeting a lot of the competitors, and the Career Start competition is going to be on Friday. So hopefully I'll get to film a lot of that with you guys and share it so you guys can hear those stories too. I think that would be really cool. But I'm just so excited. I'm going to try to keep a lot of posts going on Instagram. If you guys don't follow me on Instagram, you should. Go follow Go Groomer on Instagram so you can keep up with all that little fun stuff that I do. That's not really videos, it's just, you know, pictures of the dogs I groom, or quick little tips of how to de-shed a dog, or just pictures of me grooming, or pictures of the people that I meet grooming, and all that stuff. So it's going to be great. Don't forget, November 7th, Sunday, this coming Sunday, I am going to be grooming with Groomer's Harness, Suzanne Grand, and we are going to be doing a Bedlington Terrier and a mixed breed and a Bedlington trim, and I can't wait. She is a wonderful groomer. If you guys haven't checked out her channel, you should go check her out at Groomer's Harness. She actually invented the Groomer's Harness, which we were just talking about. She's pretty amazing. She has a wonderful career as a pet groomer. She's been grooming for many, many years. She's competed. She's a renowned pet groomer, you know, and we're going to be grooming together. So I'm so excited. And I just want to meet her too. So it's going to be a day to remember. And it is the last day that I'm there. So I'm so excited. I'll be coming home on Monday, which means no live stream next Monday, guys. What are we going to do? I'll be driving, so I can't live stream. I have to drive back from the airport. So 2 weeks, I'll see you guys. And hi, Sue. I know you're Tennessee Granny. I know. Jackson says, hi, Amy. What product and process do you recommend to de-skunk a smell out of a dog? You really want to know? Okay, I have a video on my channel. You must go watch it, Jackson. It's called Smelly Pet, or how to get the smell out of your dog or something. My dog stinks. I don't remember. But it's like 3 years ago I did it. It's a really good video. The best thing is a feminine douche. So go watch the video. You think I'm kidding. It's true. Get a couple of them. You have to. All right, Gerald says, Gerald F. asking, any special tips when changing an 18-month-old Maltese from Asian Fusion to semi-show? Moved 6 months ago from South Florida to Ohio. Rowdy needs more coat. Okay, so we're talking about going from Asian Fusion to a semi-show coat. You can do, let me just pop this picture up. I'm going to show you something real quick. Okay, so looking at this here Maltese, I like to see a Maltese in full coat with an Asian Fusion head. I think it's gorgeous. If you can picture what I'm talking about, Gerald, a Maltese in full coat with an Asian Fusion head and long ponytails. I think it's beautiful. I'd consider that. But other than that, it's your preference. I do like some of the Asian Fusion characteristics. It's really cute. Janelle says they'll be live next Monday. No, Janelle, there's no live next Monday. I'm sorry, I know. But I promise I'll make it worth it for you guys. I might try to somehow go live with probably my members when I'm in Florida. And it might be Friday, because as it turns out, Friday during the day, it looks like I'm going to have some free time. So that could be a good time. Just keep checking your emails, guys, especially like Friday, Thursday. I'll post what I'm going to do. But it looks like Friday I will have some downtime later in the afternoon. So that could be a good time for me to get together with you guys, my members, and we could do a little chit chat. Yeah, and that's what Nora says. How about a Zoom gathering, Amy? So could we keep company on the... Well, not while I'm driving, but Nora, yes, if we do a Zoom, I'll send you the link, okay? No problem. Because she can't join the members. She's in Egypt, but we like to try to get her in when we can. So, guys, I will see you soon. I hope that our live stream has been helpful to you, and I hope you enjoyed the topic, and I hope it maybe has answered some of your questions or ended some of your frustrations, because that's what we love to do when we get together, because we're better together. And I cannot wait to tell you guys all the wonderful things that happen in Florida, and I hope you have a wonderful 2 weeks. Keep being awesome. You do a really good job of that, you know. So keep it up. I will see you in 2 weeks. I love you very much. Take care, guys. Here's a subscriber showdown for you. All right, guys, mic drop. I'm out. Your dog is the demo dog at the Andis booth.
Pretty cool.